let's talk about God, this ancient word that has so many meanings and so many people don't like. If you tell me you don't like God or you don't like the word God, I'm thinking that that's probably not a God I like either. We have such an old idea about this little 3-letter word. And yet it's the word we use for the biggest thing that we can imagine, the biggest thing that we can know, that from which all things spring. So we can learn a positive spirituality. We can learn a practical spirituality. We can learn a spirituality that comes from the inside, that comes from our alignment with an infinite reality, that isn't about whether we're following somebody else's rules, or it isn't about whether we're doing it in a certain way, like are we kneeling in a certain way or saying words in a certain way. All of that outer practice, much of it has meaning, but only when it's connected to our inner experience of this something, this something. And so we call it God because we have some shared understanding that we're talking about a spiritual reality. But yeah, we're not talking about some guy in the sky with a long white beard who, sort of like Santa Claus on steroids, right? We think if we pray to God, it'll give us something or throw lightning bolts. So Zeus, Santa Claus, really, yeah, not so much. If we think about all the ways we can enter into an idea of ultimate reality, like what's really going on here? From the scientific community, we have this whole new emergence of quantum physics. And the physicists, they look out into the universe and they see intelligence and consciousness looking back. They don't see a guy in the sky, but they see something. And we call that consciousness, ultimate reality. All the faith traditions, all the spiritual traditions know this. It's in the mystical strain. It's in the alternative line that understands that you and I can have a direct experience of that reality. Not only can we have a direct experience of that reality, but that underlies a way of being in the world that changes everything. It changes how we're with people. It changes what we do. It changes how we show up. And if we can learn about physical reality, and if ultimate reality is somehow the container within which physical reality is emerging, then those things that we learn about physical reality, we can learn the same kinds of things about spiritual reality. We can call them universal laws, spiritual laws. Lots of people enter it into different ways. We can learn tools and techniques and practices that teach us how to engage in this in a way that really is truly meaningful, co-creative, powerful. And then our consciousness joins with the larger consciousness, and our spirituality not only lifts us, but it contributes to the lifting of others. Yeah. And doesn't every spiritual tradition say that another name for God is love?